the sets we're gonna do are 4 sets, 12 to 15. RPE of 8 to 9. So this is the 5th week, this is the 4th week, and next week is gonna be overreaching week, which is gonna be the last week of hardcore training before peak week. And peak week, when peak week gets here, if you come compete for a show, not really gonna train that hard because one, you don't wanna have a sore muscle because it's very hard to flex a sore muscle. So, and you wanna bring, cortisol level down, stress level down, training stimulus down a little bit just to enhance recovery and make sure, you're looking alive when you step on stage. Just some pro tip for you guys. Pro tip, when you're training legs, I like to start my legs, if you've been following for a while, I like to start my legs with hamstrings first, just because it helps with warm-up. It's a dynamic warm-up for my legs, so give that a shot. And also because before you jump to like a big compound movement, it just helps to focus a lot of energy on those small joints, small movements compared to like, leg press, for instance. Squats, for instance. You're not exerting too much energy. I treat hamstrings like calves, right? Most people, including myself, I don't train calves before. I rarely train calves after the leg session because I'm just tired. So I like to train them at the beginning of the workout. So same thing with the hamstrings too. So. Right, so finish with standing leg curls and we're jumping into pendulum squats. If you've never used a pendulum squat before, definitely try it. At the beginning of the year, I made a video talking about some of the investments you need to make in 2022 is investing in the gym that caters to the need or what you need. And what I need is a lot of legs. And this machine is a game changer. It's very deceiving. You might see like people like struggling with 2 plates or 1 plate on this movement because the Atlantis machine alone itself is super, super heavy, and it's a very, very humbling movement. So today, last week I did 2 plates and a 25. So this week, we are going up 3 plates and trying to match the rep that we did last week. Oh, by the way, right now we only have 2 plates on here, so still a warm-up set and possibly a potentiation set, then a working set. In case you wonder what a potentiation set is. Potentiation set is, let's say, if I'm working with 3 plates, I'm gonna try that for about 3 or 4 reps just to get my body acclimated to it before I actually start my actual working set. So you potentiate before you actually jump into your working set. So now I'm going to start my working set. We have 2 plates on. We're going to put 3 plates on right now, and we're going to start the actual training. We love it. When it hurts, you just want to get up the ride as quick as possible. Ooh, yeah, buddy. Equipments are great, so use them the same way. You don't want to, not use straps because quote unquote grip strength. So use straps if you have it, especially if it's going to make you be less focused on grip and actually focus on moving the weight and stimulating the right muscle. Same thing go for knee sleeves. I typically like to do like the first set or so, just to see out if I need them or not. But just to be safe, again, being a contest prep, joint leverages are not going to be where they need to be or where they used to be when you have a lot of weight on you. So we're using straps, knee sleeves, just to protect the joint. But yeah, strap this on and we're going to embark on the next 3 sets. I'm still going to get copyright on this. I don't care. Just because of that alone, like I said, give this video a thumbs up. It doesn't get as raw as this. And by the way, my legs session, I try not to make it too long. Try to get in here. It's 12:48 right now. I got here at 12:20. So, in and out. That was the third set. We got one more set. Real quick, so when I program for my clients and they're checking in on the weekends, and I'm looking at the rep progression from each workout. Let's say, for instance, I'm doing leg press, and I'm seeing somebody saying 4 or 5 or something like that. Just an example, and it's calling for 4 sets, 10 to 12. And your first set is 12, second set is 12, third set is 12, fourth set is 12. At like week 3 of your programming, you're not training hard enough because one, there should be some rep fall off from set to set. So yes, you might push yourself to get 12 in the first set, 12 in the second set, but the third set should be, fall around 10 or so, and the second set should be around like 10 or 10 to 9. But something to pay attention to, if you're tracking your training and you just 10, 10, 10, 8, 8, 8, throughout the week, you're not training hard enough. So those are good indication and things to look for in your training program. Now the last set. Goal here is get to about 10 repetitions. If you get more than that, even better. Ooh. Ooh. Oh yeah. That hurts so good. So next movement, great music in here, right? The next movement is going to be leg press. The idea, rep 3 sets, 3 sets, 10 to 12 repetitions, and yeah, the idea here is just like anything else, just like any other leg movement, full range of motion, trying to get full ROM on here. And pro tip, obviously, if you, I know like higher foot placement can bias like the hamstrings, but if you want to get more hamstrings movement, find other movements. Leg press is not the machine for hamstrings, it's for quads. It might make it a little more glute biased if you elevate your feet, but the focus today is quads, so I'm lowering my feet. We want to get more knee flexion, meaning knee driving over toe. So I go another pro tip, if you have poor ankle mobility, lifters are great for any squat movement to get more knee flexion if you have poor ankle mobility. But don't use that as a crutch though. Still trying to work on having good ankle mobility, but you can just always use that. Just like knee sleeves, belts, straps, they aid in getting, the right stimulus, but you should always strive to improve those weak areas that you need to improve. So anyways, 3 sets, 10 to 12. Another pro tip, try to drive your knee out, and it's going to give you, or intend to incorporate more adductors in your movement. Same thing goes for squat. Driving your knee out, you should feel a good stimulus in your adductors instead of doing good girl, bad girl. You know what I mean? Yeah, 2 more sets in here. And it's came in here at 12:10, and it's 1:10 right now. So I'm making up good time. And rest period, I know someone might ask about that. I tell my clients to rest as much as needed for you to make sure you are fully ready to give your next set your all. You don't want your rest period to be the limiting factor in you performing. So if you need to take a minute or two to catch your breath, especially on leg days, go for it. But you don't want to take like a powerlifting rest period for like 5 minutes or something like that. Set 2. Another good pointer is you want to make sure every set, every rep looks like the same one. Meaning, if you spend 2 seconds on the eccentric, on the 2 seconds, on the concentric, on the first rep, it should be like that for at least 85% of your rep range. So you're just not like pushing and pushing, because something we call time under tension, which is needed and crucial for growing lean tissue mass or stimulating your muscle. I'm going to catch my breath a little bit here. I'm going to jump into 3rd set and the final set on leg press. Another pro tip, if your butt is coming up, yoga mat behind your glutes to reinforce your butt coming up, or a foam roller gets so tough for you to push against something, especially if you have shorter legs too. Put some sort of padding behind your back will shorten the range of motion for my short people out there. Leg press done. Leg extensions. Leg extensions. So I've shared this before in the past, and if you have leg extensions, obviously one of the biggest factors or things to consider when you're training is you want to make sure you use the movements that's going to give you a lot of full range of motion, because the muscle only grows when you take it through its full length and short range of motion. So a lot of times machines don't really go all the way that back or give you enough room to get a good extension. Flexion, I should say. So using the yoga mat in front of your shin against the pad kind of increases that range of motion by at least 2 to 3 inches. So sometimes, if you maximize what you can do on a specific movement, always look, okay, how can I make this movement a lot harder? Because at the end of the day, your muscle doesn't really recognize the load that you are using, but recognizes the effort and that's been generated, which increases the stimulus. So leg extensions, 250 repetitions, and we should be good here. tip. And I know there's a lot of misconception out there, again, because not everybody that looks jacked know exactly what they're doing, including me. Not claiming to know a lot, I will not know it all, but I know a lot. Toe placement, ideally speaking, you want to have your toe pointing towards you, and it doesn't really matter if your toe is pointing out or pointing in. And remember this phrase, sensation doesn't correlate to effectiveness. Because you have a sensation of training a particular muscle group, the same argument goes for your foot being elevated when you are doing RDLs or just feel a good stretch. No, you don't. Your hamstring doesn't lengthen or shorten based on if your toe is elevated. Your hamstring is not connected to your ankles, so there's no way that can affect your hamstring movement. But my point is, doesn't matter if your toe is pointing out or pointing in or pointing straight, you're not changing much. Obviously you want more toe pointing towards you. I can't think of the scientific name for it right now, but your toe pointing towards you because we want to try and shorten that range of motion as much as possible, ideally speaking. So, second set, short 15. So that concludes the leg session today. So what you guys didn't see is the third set of leg extensions. Again, there's nothing fancy about that. I already made up my points. And then we went to doing 2 sets of walking lunges, which again, emphasis here is knee flexion, knee driving over toe. If you put yourself in a position like that, it allows you to recruit more muscle tissue. So hopefully you guys can hear me above this loud ass music. But that is leg day for today. Again, simple movement, uncomplicated. Standing leg curls. Ideally, normally I start with lying leg curls, but I started with standing because somebody was using it. Jump into pendulum squats, jump into leg press, leg extensions, and walking lunges. So 5 movement total. Easy. Again, it's 1:31 right now, so a little over an hour, and I got it done. So leg day doesn't have to be grueling by any means. Give yourself enough time to recover. And I'm recording too, by the way, so again, it's my lunch break. That's when I'm recording this. Again, the effort alone I'm putting into this video, by all means, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends. And again, I don't think you can never get any sort of value from leg training by just doing a raw video and just doing a commentary of some of the training processes that I'm doing. So one thing I want to share with you guys also is really, I think there's this idea or misconception out there that you have to back squat for you to get, improve your leg. What you realize is you don't have to squat. You don't have to back squat. Of course, if you can, by all means, go for it. But I think the misconception is, no, you need to bench press, you need to back squat for you to get good legs. No, you don't. There are other great movements out there, and I wouldn't argue that might be better than squatting, just because you're looking for more stimulus, less fatigue. Squat, of course, give you a lot of fatigue. Most movement on legs will give you more fatigue, but squat specifically, session over system might be more tasked than doing like a leg press or machine, like a hack squat, pendulum squat, for instance. And a lot of times, other variables, other actors like your lungs or your lower back will not be as tasked as it would have been if you're using back squat. Again, I'm not saying do not back squat, but don't go into your leg day thinking, okay, the rationale behind this, I need to back squat for me to get good legs. You don't. But anyways, that's the video for today, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video, enjoy the content. If you do like this kind of content where I share, kind of just do a raw training video, I'm more than happy to, based on the response I get from this. And yeah, SAMOKFIT checking out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys can hear me because I think this music is loud. See you in the next one. Peace.